Anyway, let's talk about this because, and this, and this. I'm flattered you want my opinions on these. I really am. I really am. It's good. It is a very good show. It is a very well-made show. Production values are top notch. Direction, acting, lighting, everything. Everything about this show is very, very good. So why am I not more invested in it? Okay, so Lanterns is the gritty kind of Norse adaptation of the Green Lantern comics. Now, the Green Lantern comics, the Green Lanterns are the assigned protectors of sectors in space. They're not really cops. They're more like marshals because they have whole patches of space to take care of. They're not cops responding to calls. They're marshals out along the whole frontier, what have you, in space. Um, and they've decided to take the approach of John Stewart replacing Green Lantern as opposed to the original comic, which he just needed a second backup. The first backup was Guy Gardner. He got hurt saving some kids, and so the Guardian said, go buy another backup, and we picked this guy. And he picks John Stewart, and John Stewart, this is the early 70s. John Stewart is a black man. He kind of has an attitude about some of this stuff, and Hal resents this attitude. So them having that element of them being somewhat antagonistic against one another, it's canon. It really is canon. What's not canon is that neither one of them is likable. Yeah, they seriously deconstructed these characters in this. Neither one of them is actually a likable person, which is why spoilers. We're gonna do spoilers. It's Wednesdays. You should have seen by now. Spoilers. This is why when Hal is found dead at the beginning of the first episode, I didn't care because there was no one likable we saw for the previous hour. No one. We didn't. I didn't like Hal. I didn't like John Stewart. It doesn't matter. I didn't like either one of them. The only person I love the sheriff, Kelly McDonald. We love her. Love the sheriff. Which show was about her. Um, but yeah, now to deconstruct means to like strip certain, take a story, a classical story, and strip it of elements. In this case, taking this story of these two superheroes and stripping away like the hero nobility, the outward hero nobility, the perfection of them. It's not like, oh, you're my guess. It's not like they're still just good guys all the time, and we don't get agree, but we're gonna do this together because we're good guys. That's gone. They're people, and they don't get along. And so I understand that. I'm not going to, I personally am not a fan of it, but then again, I'm a Superman fan, so I want a pristine hero. This is for you who want a much more flawed hero. And Hal, being arrogant and cocky, he's literally a test pilot. Of course he's arrogant and cocky. He couldn't have done his job if he hadn't been arrogant and cocky. That's all of them. That's why when you hear these little chodes on the internet complaining about Carol Danvers being arrogant in Captain Marvel, they're full of crap. What test pilot isn't? She's a pilot. Of course she's arrogant. Hell, if there's a real problem, it's like, why isn't Rhodey more arrogant? He was a pilot. Come on. Uh, so yeah, so he'll be arrogant like this is fine, but they didn't really give him anything likable in this first episode. Of course, we've got like 8 or 9 episodes. I think it's 11 or 12 episodes to the series. He may develop. We may see him because the story's going to be told in flashbacks, present and past, obviously in 2016 and 2026. So we may get more to see how that we like him. We'll see more of John that we like him. But in this first episode, I don't like either one of these dudes. Had to go get him because this is more representative of John Stewart. And I'm going to say it again. John Stewart was created by Neal Adams to be a darker skinned black man to fight against colorism that he saw in comics. Castian Pierre, as good as he is, he's fine in this role. He's very good at the role he's playing, but it betrays the political origins of the character. That's it. And don't, please, I'm going to be as kind as I can. White people, please don't come in my comments about this. You have no idea what you're talking about when it comes to this. You really don't. So don't tell me what you think it's fine, or don't tell me you think it's fine or it doesn't matter. You have no idea what this means. So please see yourself out of that conversation. And white people who are just like in my comments going, oh my God, you should be happy. Why don't you go somewhere else and step and fetch it? How'd that happen? There's more. Um, yeah, like I said, it's very well made. It's very well written. I love the world building. I love that they build a world where, like, people like Hal Jordan exist. They know aliens exist, and they actually respond accordingly. I love Kelly McDonald's line. It's one thing to see on CNN that aliens are real, but it's another thing to have it in your face. Wonderful. And the fact that you would have this one guy who's kind of like paranoid about aliens. That's what that would happen to this. I love that. It's very grounded. It's very realistic, for lack of a better term, given you're dealing with, a guy with a magical wishing ring. I do think, am I misremembering? But doesn't someone call it a wishing ring? Doesn't she call it a wishing ring at one point? That's from Morrison. Morrison said that Morrison had Dream, Daniel, who succeeded Dream as a Sandman. He said that in JLA. He said to Kyle Rayner, "Your wishing ring," and he's like, "Oh, I never thought of it that way." He also said he would surpass Hal, but Jeff Johns didn't want that. But yeah, I love all that. Again, everything's so good. It's just trying too damn hard. It's trying so hard to be adult and real. Like, trust me, only children care so hard about seeing as adults. So every time an F-bomb was needly dropped, I'm just going, really? I got it the first time. I got it the first time. And believe me, it takes everything I can not to curse like a sailor when I do these things. Because I remember that my friends' kids are watching this. But yeah, I'd be like a Mel Brooks movie up in here, Blazing Saddles. But they're just trying so hard. This is not, yeah, it's silly, but look at us. We're so real. We're so real. We're so gritty. We're so real. Oh, look at it. Casual sex in a truck. Look at us. We're so real. And they're just trying so damn hard. It's off-putting. Let me put it this way. If you took that out, took away every F-bomb, would it change? No. So that's how little it mattered. That's how little it mattered. It would have succeeded without all of that, but they just had to go there. And obviously, and I absolutely love the interrogation. The interrogation was hysterical because it's like one of the tells the alien has, or not alien's probably gonna be a man. One of the tells is that he's not a racist. When Hal is questioning him, like, "That's all you have to say about Barack Hussein Obama?" It's like, yeah, birthright issues, because he would not know that a guy like that in Nebraska would be a screaming racist and would have hated Obama. I love that little part of it. Loved all of it. Again, a lot of it's great. The question is, why is it like this? Why are you doing Green Lantern like this? It's following. I've said they need to go to the rule, take such a story, and just throw a superhero in it, and it'll be much more successful. They decided to take this gritty noir thriller and throw two Green Lanterns in it, and that still just doesn't make sense to me. Why? These are spacefaring marshals. I mean, granted, they have the alien thing, but if you took them out, you took out Hal and John and just had anybody else doing it, hell, Mulder and Scully, would it really change that much? And it should, because that's how central they should be. It should fit what they are. Yeah, so that's kind of like my own real problem with it. It just doesn't seem, no matter what, no matter how good it is, and again, it is good, I don't understand why they would do this to Green Lanterns or do this with Green Lanterns. What's the point? What's the point in doing it like this? But yeah, or who knows, maybe that's the only way they felt they could do this. Again, they're quite ashamed, clearly ashamed. The way he said, "We didn't call it Green Lanterns because that's stupid." Again, they're very, very ashamed of this. They're very embarrassed by it, which is why it's got to be Lanterns, which is why it's got to be gritty, which is why he cannot wear the outfit. Uh, and originally, they weren't even going to have the outfit no matter what. That's how much they do not, how much they are ashamed of this character. They did not want the outfit. I remember the first Captain America movie with what's his name, Catherine Larai's son. I've forgotten his name. The writer said, "I thought the costume was stupid, which is why I have him in a trench coat for 90% of the film." That's how, again, he didn't care. He was totally embarrassed by it. And I get that feeling from this immensely, that they are ultimately embarrassed by these characters and the situations. But it's so good. I'm, but then again, I don't have any skin in Green Lantern. I'm not a big Green Lantern fan. I don't care. If they had canceled this, I might have blinked. That's about as much as I care. So I don't know how much a Green Lantern fan cares about this. I just know as a casual fan, I don't understand why it had to be this gritty noir thing, why they had to go so hard with it, except, again, that they're just trying too hard. And speaking of trying way too hard, the ranch guy, who's obviously going to be an antagonist, he's in there top chopping the bloody meat. Just throw an anvil at the camera already. Are you kidding me with that? But I did love seeing Jason Ritter. I'm old, so John Ritter. We love to see him anywhere. So, but yeah, that was just kind of ridiculous. And again, the sex in the truck, really. Again, we're gritty and grown up. Yeah. The thing, there are so many like more Norse characters out there that would have been better suited for this kind of thing. I mean, again, if you took the two of them out and use like Jack Ryder, Jack Ryder and the question, Jack Ryder, who's the creeper, but and um, his public identity is just like he's like kind of a tabloid journalist, and the question to go in and do this would it really change that much? They would have been better suited for it. Like I said, it just doesn't make sense that you would take these really spacefaring characters and throw them down there. And I do like the idea that when the Manhunter finally spoke, he said, "What are you here for, vengeance?" Because, like I said, my last video, the Manhunters just want to screw up anything the Guardians do, and they may. And Hal Jordan alluding to the fact that Abin Sur was deliberately sabotaged, and he was trying to hide his ship in the middle of nowhere. And that I love the world building. I love all the world building. I understand that later there are going to be allusions made to the wider world of the DC universe. Obviously, Guy Gardner is going to show up, and this is, let's see, it's 2016. Superman first appeared in 2022, so it's 6 years before Superman. So that's why no one's saying, why doesn't Superman come take care of this? But yeah, I do. I love the world building of this. That's good. But yeah, lanterns. It's not a priority for me. So if you want me, I won't be commenting on every episode. You probably won't hear me talk about this again until it's all wrapped up at the end to see how it finally turns out. But yeah. Oh, they did release Funkos. They finally came out, seemingly over the last week. There is one John Stewart, one of John Stewart in his civilian clothes, which does not bode well. So that doesn't look like you're going to get him in his Green Lantern outfit, which would be very sad. One of Sinestro, obviously, and one of Hal Jordan in the costume that he is clearly not wearing. But yeah, the Funko did come through on that. But yeah, so Lanterns, if you have any questions for me, the comments are there. It's just not a bad show. It's just kind of not for me. But this has motivated me to finish watching the animated show, which is amazing. I did finish the first season, but again, I'm not the biggest Lantern fan in the world, so I don't have this high intensity motivation, but it's a great show, very much. This is almost as good as that.